Hey guys, Brian over here again, and today I'm doing a video by request. It's about the screen on a third generation Tacoma. Today we're sitting in a 2021 Tacoma SR5, so I'm going to break down what the screen is, what it does, and also the little screen by the speedometer, which we call the MID. Alright, let's begin. Alright, so let's get the screen on. This is what we call the Infotainment Center. So you have two screens on a Tacoma, which I'm going to save this one for the end, but you have the MID, which stands for Multi-Information Display. And then you also have the Infotainment Center. Basically, one way you can remember what these do is, this is going to be for fun, this is going to be for important information. So at a glance, you have 4 buttons on the sides. You have home, menu, audio, and map. And you have seek and track phone and apps. An easy way to remember where you are on this Infotainment Center is, look at the top left of the screen. So that tells us we're in the home screen. And for example, if I hit menu, I know I'm in the menu here. And if I go to setup, I know I'm in the setup menu over here. So home screen is a great place to see different information all at once at a glance. When the music is playing, whether it be Bluetooth, Sirius radio, or AM or FM, it's going to show you what's here. When your phone is connected to Bluetooth, you have the option of doing shortcuts to a phone call, so it'll have 4 little quadrants with people's names that you can set. And then this is showing the gas mileage. But I can change what the home screen shows by going to the menu, setup, and customize home screen. I can even change the layout here. Say I want it to have 4 quadrants over here, or I want the big one on the other side. I can change that there. I can even change what it shows. So say I want to put the clock over here, which is a little redundant, I can do that. Simple. Another great thing is when I tap something, it's going to take over the screen. So say you forget where the audio button is and you just got the truck, but you're in the home screen, you can just tap that and it'll prompt you right to the audio. Same thing here. Well, register phone. But if it's connected, that's when you can get into your phone menu. Just like that. It's going to prompt me to connect my phone. When I go to menu, I have a couple different buttons I can push. Audio, like mentioned, is where I can change the source. I can even reorder these. And this is just grayed out because I don't have anything plugged into the USB plug. That is going to be the same as this. When I'm connected on Bluetooth, the screen is going to show you a couple different areas like your history, favorites, contacts, etc. So when I hit history, it'll show people that I've called recently. I can set favorites, but here's a pro tip. In your home screen when you're connected to Bluetooth, tap and hold for 4 seconds and set somebody's phone number that you call all the time. It's a great shortcut to just tapping somebody's name and starting the phone call, as opposed to hitting the phone button over here and then going to the menu and trying to find their name. They made it that way so that you're not distracted while you're on the road. And onto apps. This is going to prompt me to download the Entune app suite. You'll be able to use apps like OpenTable, Pandora, Spotify, etc. Some of these apps are actually going to be feeding through your Apple CarPlay, but the Entune system is a little controversial. So if you use Entune, share down below what you think about it. To me personally, I think it's a little dated. I think Apple CarPlay kind of takes over the show when it comes to that, but they didn't take it away from you if you like. Then for projection, if you're plugged in a USB, you can project. Same thing as Apple CarPlay. And for info, that's where I can see information about vehicle alerts in my economy. Not that most Tacoma owners are really too concerned with that. And setup. This is going to be the one where you spend most of your time. Before we go to setup though, let's go back to menu. You see the little display button here? A quick way to turn off your screen but be able to listen to music at nighttime is you hit menu, display, and screen off. And it'll play the music. You can change the volume, and to get the screen back on, you hit any button. And display is also where you can change your, general contrast settings, even the settings to the camera. I suggest leaving them at stock unless you have super sensitive eyes or you're colorblind. But setup is where you're going to spend a little bit of time when you get your truck. So I can change some settings to these things here. I suggest leaving all of this stuff stock except going to your voice training recognition. and you can train it right there. You can even change the voice volume, the recognition prompts. These are some advanced settings, but the train voice recognition is the one that you might like because it'll learn your voice a little bit better. On to general settings, this is where you would set the clock. So just to reiterate, I'd go to menu, setup, and clock is right there. That's where I'll change my time. And of course I can change my language, my projection settings, customize home screen like I mentioned. I can turn the beep off if I like, so it doesn't beep. Now I turned the beep on. And the color setting, I have white and blue, white and gray, black and blue, black and red. But what's cool is when you change the color, the shapes of these change too. The red is cool, but honestly, I think the blue and black is the best. To me, it's a little easier on the eyes. They don't give you a ton of color options. Would have been kind of cool if you had like a different backgrounds with the different colors, maybe like some rocks or some sand and stuff, but it's Toyota, they keep it simple. When you're having a lot of fun out in the woods, you're not worried about what screensaver you have on your screen. Down here I have some keyboard settings. To me, these are all advanced settings as well that I don't suggest changing. This is where you can find your software update. And you can check for an update once in a while. Most of the time it'll alert you, but you can check. So say your Bluetooth connection is acting up. That's the first place that I would go. So as you can see, it's checking. And what's nice is when the software updates are due, they don't take very long. This one's probably taking a little bit to check just because the car's been in the showroom, it hasn't been driven that much, so the radio hasn't been used that much. There we go, we're up to date. That's pretty much all you'd want to mess with in here. Then of course I have audio, which I have AM, FM, my Sirius radio, the Bluetooth, and when I hit this, this is the spot where I connect the Bluetooth, or I can hit the phone button and it'll prompt me to connect. Now, when I hit map, the SR5s don't have navigation in-house, so it's going to say navigation app not installed. The previous years for Tacomas and other vehicles had an app called Scout GPS Link, but now that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is standard on them, you would just be plugging in your phone to the USB plug, and when you hit map, it'll prompt you to go to your Waze or Google Maps or whatever you like. If your truck is like mine and it's an off-road or a sport with the technology package, it's going to have the dynamic map. So when you hit that, it's actually going to be the Toyota map. All right, so we're halfway through the infotainment screen demonstration. This button here is going to be a push power and volume, which you can also control the volume from the steering wheel. Then this is going to tune through your stations. Seek and track are going to be for when I'm in my radio. Like I mentioned, when you hit phone, this is where you'd go to connect your Bluetooth. Once you connect, the truck's going to memorize your phone's Bluetooth connection and it's going to connect automatically every time. If you connect between two different people, it's going to favor who was connected most recently. And when I hit this and I'm connected, the screen's going to show your contacts, call history, favorites, etc. And then apps, that's going to be the same thing as before for the Entune app suite. So let me know what you think of that. Back to home, this is where you'll spend most of your time. And next up is going to be the multi-information display, which is going to give you all your driving information. All right, the multi-information display, also known as MID. This is a normal screen to see when you're in battery mode. I can hit the back button to make that go away. It's just Toyota's way of letting you know that you're running off of the battery and the engine's not actually on. So and it's going to keep reminding me. Using the arrows on your steering wheel, if you look at the icons, you have different icons on the top. That's just lit up because it's reminding me that I'm on the battery. So starting from left to right, I have information, the truck, warnings, and the gear for settings. So for information, I can go up and down. I'll start at the top. I can see a digital speed with distance to empty. My average fuel economy, which will change as you drive the truck. My trip distance that I've traveled on since the truck has been on. And that's the sway warning in case I'm, driving a little sleepy and it senses it. It's going to give me a warning to take a break. Over here, it's just going to show you what safety systems are on. And if I go down, it's going to show me my PSI per tire. Do keep in mind that's just an estimate within a couple PSI, so I do suggest still checking your tire pressure cold once a month. And the recommendation for tire pressure is right in your driver's side door jamb on the sticker. I believe it's 30-30 all around. The little warning symbol here is lit up because the check charging system thing is on, which, like I said, it's just reminding me that I'm in battery mode. It's a big concern of a lot of Toyota Tacoma owners when they see that for the first time. Now, say I needed service, or my 5K service is coming up, or it senses something, or the Toyota Safety Sense sensors are getting dirty in the wintertime, it's going to light up orange here, and it's going to store that message to remind me to check that and get it taken care of. And then in settings, I have pre-collision system, lane departure alert, and some other settings. So when I tap the center button here, I can turn it on or off or change the sensitivity. On lane departure alert, I can change the sensitivity, take sway warning and turn it off. That's the sleepy one. And I can change the sensitivity to the sway warning. And then in settings, I have my language and units and just some driver info, so you can change some of the stuff per driver. Pop-up display, so I can change the SIF position and the brightness. I can even change the accent color, which is kind of cool. See? Programming, you can tap and hold that little symbol on the steering wheel to set a favorites page. So you can program that. Maintenance reset, and go back to default settings. Maintenance reset is where your technician is going to go after you do your 5K service to get rid of that little service light. That's pretty much it. On the off-roads and sports, there'll be another icon up here that looks like a compass. And you'll also have another icon that looks like a music symbol, which will show you what song is playing and what road and direction you're going. Other than that, that's it. Pretty basic. Most people will leave the MID to this screen because I like to see a digital view. I personally use the compass screen on my off-road edition. But to cap the video, driver information, fun and entertainment. Hope this video helped. Thanks again for watching. Let me know if it helped you, and send it to somebody you love. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.